I often say that Republicans have no shame, and that is largely true, except for the few examples when they know in the place that should be their heart that they have acted so ridiculously and so indefensibly that they just can't help but run away from the thing they did. And that is exactly what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene today, who was confronted by a reporter in the Capitol about her support for Donald Trump's pardoning of 1,500 violent insurrectionists, violent January 6th insurrectionists. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene was asked if she'd be giving them a guided tour of the Capitol like Lauren Boebert plans on doing, or inviting them to the White House like Donald Trump is, she couldn't take it. She knew how ridiculous it was that she supports these people, or maybe she was just annoyed that we know how ridiculous she was. But either way, it triggered her into such a meltdown that she screamed at the reporter and had to run away. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into this clip of Marjorie Taylor Greene getting called out to her face.
Come to the Capitol or do any tours or any meetings here?
Is this all you really talking about is the J6ers that have been pardoned?
Yeah.
Okay, are you going to talk about the Biden family that got pardoned? No?
I haven't.
Oh, okay, what about the rapers and killers and murderers that Joe Biden pardoned? There are tons of them. Is that a focus at all?
Well, I'm asking about J6.
I know that's what you're asking. I know that's what you're asking about, and I'm not doing this. This insane place up here and all of y'all's obsession with January 6th is absurd. Everybody outside of here is sick and fucking tired of it. I'm serious. And so Joe Biden pardons all these murderers and rapists and disgusting people, and then everybody up here has got their panties in a wad because J6ers got pardoned. Like people that walk through open doors. A lot of them walk through open doors. That's it. And everybody here is like, J6. Seriously.
But you've been so outspoken on this issue. I mean,
yes, I have. And they're pardoned. And thank God, I hope they go live their lives and can reassemble something back together, because they have suffered enough. Go do a story on all the Antifa BLM people that never served time. Over 95% of them, seriously. Think about that. And go do a story on these cities that BLM burned to the ground and they never built back. They raised all that money on ActBlue and they never built those communities back.
You don't think it's a fair question to ask you because you've been so outspoken.
It is nauseating. I've seen all the Democrat-run networks ad nauseum about January 6th, and they just can't get over themselves, but they don't give a shit about real Americans.
The speaker just created a select committee to investigate January 6th, so it's not like Republicans aren't talking about this.
No, but it was your question. Are you gonna have J6ers come in? Are you gonna give them tours? Like, I'm so sick of you people and all this crap. I really am.
The reason why I asked that is because other people have said that, and so I assumed you would be one of those people that would also be having tours. Just because I know you're close to some of the people.
Because you're assuming. You know, the problem is you people never gave me a fair shot to begin with, and you all these assumptions and all these headlines and all these lies. So you came in asking me, why don't you do a story on what people care about? People care about the border, the economy, energy. They're sick and tired of the foreign wars. They're tired of the hypocrisy up here, and they hate the media right now. They do, I'm serious. You guys have created a situation where you're not trusted and people are sick of y'all. And it's sad. I'm serious, it's sad.
Well,
so no, I'm not answering this question because I'm not going down this stupid thing of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, I don't think it's stupid to ask that question. I mean, just you've been so outspoken on this issue, I thought you might want to talk about it. But that's why I asked, so I'm glad I did. Thanks, guys.
You can tell that she is uncomfortable with her own actions. She doesn't know how to defend these people. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, to me, is one of the few Republicans who actually believes they're crazy. There are certainly some, but I feel like most of the GOP is just going along with it for their own political gain. But you can tell how annoyed Marjorie Taylor Greene is that she has to continue to defend insurrectionists, continue to defend cop beaters continue to defend violent criminals, she really just can't. And she's more annoyed than anything, annoyed that this is the position that she's in. And I think who should be a lot more annoyed is the American people that Donald Trump and his MAGA movement has let all of these violent criminals onto the streets when they're screaming and lying about the millions of illegal criminal immigrants coming into the country. Just a complete lie from Donald Trump. But what is the truth is that he released a bunch of criminals. That was day one. That's the law and order guy. That's the back the blue guy. And all of that ridiculousness and all that hypocrisy was also called out by a good friend of the show, who we just had on, Senator Chris Murphy, in a clip I want to check out right here.
Rush through nominees, and yet they stand by a president who just threw law and order out the window by pardoning not some of the rioters, but all of them. Political violence in this country just became mainstream. It is now a fact of life in America. If you commit an act of horrific violence in the name of the President of the United States, that president will make sure that you get away with it. That is fundamentally un-American, and it makes this country less safe. Let me guarantee you, a one-day delay, a one-day debate on the confirmation of a CIA director does no damage to our nation's security compared to the decision to pardon every single January 6th rioter charged and convicted of crimes and let out of jail some of the most violent rioters. And just to hammer home the point, if you don't believe me, let me explain to you who Donald Trump let out of jail yesterday. This is David Dempsey. He gave an interview in front of the gallows that had been built and fitted with a noose. He said he was at the Capitol that day, January 6th, because Nancy Pelosi, James Comey, the Obamas, and the Clintons need to hang. At the Capitol, he climbed to the front of the mob and immediately began attacking law enforcement officers who were trying to protect us. He used his hands, his feet, flagpoles, crutches, broken pieces of furniture, and anything else he could find as a weapon to attack police officers. At around 4 p.m. that day, Dempsey pepper sprayed D.C. Detective Fusan Nguyen as another rioter yanked off the detective's gas mask. The spray burned Detective Nguyen's lungs, throat, eyes. It left him gasping for breath, fearing that he might lose consciousness and be overwhelmed by the mob. Moments later, because Dempsey wasn't done, he hit Sergeant Jason Mastany over the head with a metal crutch. He struck him with so much force that it cracked the shield of his gas mask, causing Sergeant Mastany to collapse as his ears started ringing. Dempsey wasn't done, though. He was thorough. He was vicious. He kept going. He sprayed chemical agents at officers. He stomped on their heads. He hit them repeatedly with metal and wooden poles. Dempsey's violence reached such extremes that at one point, he actually attacked another rioter who was trying to stop him. He was sentenced by a jury of his peers to significant jail time for his litany of brutal attacks, as anyone in this country would. He walked out of jail last night in the middle of his sentence because Donald Trump pardoned him. That's DJ Rodriguez. He didn't make any bones about what he was coming to the Capitol to do. The night before the insurrection, DJ Rodriguez posted on Telegram, "There will be blood. Welcome to the revolution." For weeks, he and members of his violent right-wing group had been organizing and planning what they were going to do. He encouraged members of the group to get a large knife, told them where they could buy bear spray. He said he highly recommended to wear goggles with breath holes, told them where they could get an axe handle. He was prepping for war. He began rather innocently, just spraying a fire extinguisher at a line of officers. When that didn't work, he found a long wooden pole to attack the officers. He wasn't done. 37 minutes of repeated frantic attempts to breach the Capitol, and he finally got to the mouth of the tunnel in the lower West Terrace. He grabbed an officer by the neck, dragged him into the mob. He takes a taser and tases the officer in the head. The officer screams in pain, recoils from the shock, jerks back his head. Rodriguez isn't done because he wants this guy dead. He strikes him again directly in the neck. The officer yells out, but it's over. The officer collapses, unconscious. And another officer has to drag his lifeless body away from the mob. The officer suffered a heart attack. His law enforcement career is over. Later that day, Rodriguez went to those gallows, took a picture, and posted, "No Democrats, unfortunately." After being convicted of beating a police officer by a jury of his peers, DJ Rodriguez was pardoned by Donald Trump.
It is indefensible, the actions that Donald Trump has already taken in this disaster of a presidency. Indefensible. And it's the reason why when Mike Johnson was asked or when Rick Scott was asked, any Republican, we just saw Marjorie Taylor Greene. They run away. They cower. They hide. They don't want to talk about it because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because what they've been saying, what Republicans have been saying for a long time now is, we're going to pardon the people who were treated unfairly, just a couple here and there. Oh, the poor babies stormed the Capitol and now they're in trouble. Ridiculous. They pardoned them all. That was the quote from Donald Trump. Who cares? Give them all a pardon. Who cares? All of them. Because Donald Trump doesn't care. He doesn't care about backing the blue or law and order. He doesn't care. But we do. And that's why we got to call him out every single day. And we're going to on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.